What's up, guys? Here we go again. It's another edition of Car Talk. I'm happy to see you. Well, not really. I'm not happy that you're here. I'm happy to see that you're here checking in because I do check the comments of these videos. Speaking of, I appreciate you leaving comments below. And if you look at any of my other videos in the comments, I typically answer nearly every one. So if you have a comment, if you have a question, please leave them below and I am happy to do what I can to answer you. Also, I appreciate the thumbs up. Bang, 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 bang. Thumbs up. They let me know you're there and they let me know you care. Now, the topic at hand. What is the RPE scale? You've probably seen this from time to time, and you hear a lot of the CrossFitters talk about it all the time. Now, I don't know exactly where the RPE scale originated, but there's always been some version of the RPE scale in any competent lifter. Now, what does RPE stand for? It stands for rate of there I go, I mess it up. Rate of perceived exertion. What does that mean? Let's say you're performing one set of 10 repetitions in the overhead barbell military press, and you use a weight that's very easy for you. It's like a warm-up weight. Let's say it's the barbell by itself. You hit your one set of 10. On the RPE scale, which is a ranking of 1 to 10, 1 being the easiest, 10 being the, oh my God, I almost died finishing that last repetition hardest, your barbell would probably rank as a 1 to 2. Now, let's say your 1 rep max is 135 pounds in the standing overhead barbell press. At 135 pounds for 1 rep, you would consider that to be a RPE of 10. Means like, oh my God, I almost died doing that. I literally had nothing left in the tank. My rate of perceived exertion was a 10. Now, why does the RPE scale matter? The RPE scale matters for a few reasons. One specifically, it highlights your level of fitness on the day with which you trained. Now, what does that mean? Let's say your 135 in the standing overhead military press is your 1 rep max, but you go into the gym tomorrow after a long day of work. You were up late with the girlfriend and you had a busy day. You got caught in traffic. You missed a meal. You had to stay late. You got caught in traffic on the way to the gym. You didn't have your earbuds and you're just in a relatively foul mood. By the time you get warm, by the time you go through your bridge sets, you get to 125 pounds, which is below your true 1 rep max. That 125, you barely get it done. That 125 becomes an RPE 10, when really that 125 is an RPE 8 or 9. That is a good indicator to put in your training log of how you felt on that day. Therefore, you can better understand your sets, your top end sets or your work sets. It's always good, and what I typically do, I only do this on my top end sets, and I only put it on my top end sets of my serious exercises, my multi-joint compounds. I don't really care about RPEs for ancillary supportive exercises because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really add any additional benefit. So my top end working sets of my primary core multi-joint compound movements is where I'll throw the RPE up. Now, with that, I can go back in my training journal and I can better understand. Now, I should say, rarely do I hit 1 rep maxes. In fact, I never hit 1 rep maxes anymore. I care more about my 3 to 6 rep maxes, much more than I do about 1 rep maxes. And for everybody listening, outside of higher level competitive powerlifters, your 1 rep max doesn't matter. Your 6 rep max is much more indicative of your true strength outside of the advanced lifter. Advanced lifters are amongst the few who can actually manifest a true 1 rep maximum. This is a little aside to the RPE scale. What does that mean? That means for the rest of the noobs out there, which is the novice, the beginner, and even the intermediate, you really can't excite your central nervous system nor recruit the proper motor units, muscle fibers, to truly hit a 1 rep maximum. Now, you can have a relative max, you can have a training max, you can have a gym max, you can have a 1 rep max, but it's not an absolute max. This is why your 3 to 6 rep max is much more important. Back to the RPE. On your top end sets, you should indicate what your RPE was. That way, it gives you a better perspective on how your training is progressing. If you start to notice that you're hitting RPEs of 9s and 10s consistently on weights that used to be 7s and 8s, you need to reevaluate your training system. You need to reevaluate your nutrition. You need to reevaluate your rest. You need to reevaluate your stress management. You need to reevaluate your lifestyle. Truly. It's a good time to understand deloading once you start to notice your RPE starting to change. That is a good indicator. Also, it's a good way to indicate progress. Where let's say I go in the gym and I hit my 1 rep max is 135 overhead, which is not. I can rep that easily. But let's say 135 is my true 1 rep max. I get in the gym, I do 115 for 6. I do 125 for 5 at an RPE of like 8. Damn! That means I got a couple left in the tank there. That means my top end number has likely started to move for sure. If I can do 125 for 5, I can easily crush 135 probably for 4, right? 3 to 4, depending on relative max. But anyway, this video is basically just to outline what your RPE is, the rate of perceived exhaustion. How much you actually have left in the tank, or how difficult that exercise actually was for you. This matters. It's important. Everyone watching this video, everyone who goes into the gym, everyone who trains should have a training log. You should be noting what you do in the gym. Remember, if you can measure it, you can improve it. Simply walking into the gym and quote exercising is not training. Training is a strategic process of improving performance. Exercising is simply breaking a sweat. Exercising is good, general exercise. But within the scope of exercise, you should be training for very specific outcomes. That's the goal here. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So I want to make sure you are maximizing your gains when you're inside the gym. The RPE scale is a very effective way to do this. If you have any questions, please leave them below. If you have any comments, I would love to hear from them. If you have not yet, subscribe to this channel. And as always, leave a thumbs up. Bang, 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 bang. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, boom.